Hello and thanks for joining me, your sports pilot James Glory, on another exciting edition of Sports Vibe on DNT Walk, where we'll bring you exciting and latest sport happenings across the world of sports every Tuesday. This week won't be an exception, so I would implore you to please stay tuned because we'll be right back shortly after this break. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Tuesday where we'll be starting from the world of football. Quite an interesting one, as Barcelona Femini were able to make it back and were able to proceed to the finals of the UEFA Champions League after they were defeated by Chelsea in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final. When it comes to the women's UEFA Champions League, they were able to come back in the second leg, defeating Chelsea 2-0 to proceed to the finals of the UEFA Champions League, where they will be facing Lyon. Barcelona will be hoping to win the UEFA Champions League for the third time in the history of the club. When you talk about the feminine side of the Barcelona, they'll be facing Lyon in the finals of the competition. And if you remember, Lyon remains the most successful team when it comes to the feminine side, playing in the UEFA Champions League, as they have won it 8 times in the club record. Will they be able to extend their win in the UEFA Champions League? And quickly, let's switch our attention to the Barcelona side, where we talk about the men's side of Barcelona. As Xavi has announced that he will be remaining in Barcelona. Remember, he said he will be leaving Barcelona at the end of the season, but he has decided to change his mind after several meetings with the board in Barcelona. Would this be a good omen for Xavi, or should he have left Barcelona as he has decided to before now? Or do you think him staying in Barcelona will make any difference for Barcelona? You remember, Madrid are just a game away from winning the Spanish La Liga. Will Xavi be able to do anything right with the Barcelona team? And also talking about football, we switch our attention to the Premier League, where we talk about the challenge that is being faced in the Premier League. You remember that during the weekend we can confirm to you that Sheffield United has been relegated from the Premier League. They were just promoted to the Premier League this season, and now they are back to the Championship where they came from. And the Premier League football is quite a different ball game compared to the Championship, where they are back to right now. They have been confirmed as the first team that has been relegated from the Premier League. And also quite an interesting one, talking about the Premier League and the Championship team. You remember that Leicester, who were relegated last year, have been promoted to the Premier League. Quite a way to get back to the Premier League. Remember that they were able to secure the signature of Pep Guardiola's assistant as their manager, and now he has helped them getting back to the Premier League, as they have been confirmed promoted to the Premier League during the weekend. Quite an interesting one for them also. And also in the world of football, we can't fail to talk about Inter Milan, who has won the Italian Serie A for the 20th time in the club history. You remember that during the weekend they were able to win 2-0, and this means that they have won the Serie A. But before now, in the Italian Serie A, you remember that Inter Milan were able to defeat their rival AC Milan at the San Siro Stadium, where they were crowned the champion for the 20th time in the history of the club. The only team that has won the Serie A more than Inter Milan as things stand right now is Juventus, who have been able to win the Italian Serie A for 36 times in the club history. The third on the list, just behind Inter Milan, is AC Milan. The rivalry between these two are not just ending on the pitch, but you can see in their trophy room, especially in the Italian Serie A. And another interesting one in the world of football that we can fail to talk about is one of the interesting leagues in the world of football, the Premier League, as Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool title race looks to be over, as they were defeated by Everton during the midweek and they could only manage a draw against West Ham during the weekend. This means that Liverpool are points behind Arsenal and Man City in the Premier League table, and I think their title race in the Premier League is well over, and Jurgen Klopp could only be ending his farewell season with just a trophy with Liverpool. Quickly, let's go on a very short break, and when we're right back, we continue right from where we stopped. Welcome back, and we're still talking football. Before the break, I said Liverpool title race may be well over as they are points behind Arsenal and Manchester City, but we can't say the same thing for Arsenal Football Club, who have gathered momentum this season, are sitting at the top of the Premier League table, maintaining their spot at the top of the Premier League table as they were able to defeat Chelsea 5-0 during the midweek, and they were able to see off their North London rival, where we talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal being able to defeat their London rival and also their North London rival Tottenham Hotspur to maintain their top spots at the Premier League table. Quite an interesting one for Arsenal Football Club, who are not giving up without a fight in the Premier League this season. They are undefeated against the top 6 in the Premier League this season, and they are here to play Manchester United in the second leg. Will they be able to see off Manchester United also to probably win the Premier League title this season? But mind you, there is a pressure from Manchester City side, where you talk about the Pep Guardiola side, who are mounting pressure on Arsenal Football Club. They are 1 point behind Arsenal Football Club, though they are having a game in hand in the Premier League. Will they be able to win their game in hand to extend and occupy the #1 spot in the Premier League this season? Arsenal Football Club are fighting for their first Premier League title in over 20 years, and Manchester City will be hoping to win it for the 4th time in a row in the history of the Premier League. Quite an interesting battle between these two, but we can't say the same thing for some leagues in the top Europe. You remember that Paris Saint-Germain has been crowned the champion of the Ligue 1 after their match during the weekend. It's quite an interesting one for Paris Saint-Germain, who has been able to win the Ligue 1 for the 12th time in the history of the club. Quite an interesting one for Luis Enrique, winning the 4th Ligue 1 title with Paris Saint-Germain. You remember that they are still in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Will they be able to win the UEFA Champions League? Though they are still in the semi-finals, where they'll be facing Borussia Dortmund in that particular finals of the competition. Quite an interesting one also in the world of football, as we can't fail to talk about so many leagues that has been played. You remember that I said before the break that Real Madrid are just 1 game away from winning the Italian Serie A. You remember that the Bundesliga has already been won by Bayern Leverkusen, who has extended their unbeaten streak to 46 matches unbeaten in all competitions. Quite an interesting one also, as they will be playing in the Europa League on Thursday. Let's see if they will be able to proceed to the finals of the Europa League. And also talking about the UEFA Champions League, we talk about the team that everyone talks about, and one of the teams that is most successful in the history of the UEFA Champions League. Real Madrid will be facing Bayern Munich in the semi-finals of the competition tonight, where they will be meeting at the Allianz Arena. Will Real Madrid be able to defeat Bayern Munich in the semi-finals of the competition? And on Wednesday also, we'll be seeing Borussia Dortmund welcoming PSG in the semi-finals of the competition. They are the champion of the Ligue 1. Will they be able to win another trophy under Luis Enrique? Probably the trophy that they have been looking forward to win in the history of the club, where we talk about the UEFA Champions League. These matches are going to be played during the midweek in the world of football, and so you know there are so many football matches to look forward to this week in the world of football. I'm talking about the Premier League also, as we leave on this week's episode of Sport Vibe on DNT Walk. We talk about Ten Hag and Manchester United, who are officially out of the UEFA Champions League spot, as they are confirmed that they won't be playing in the UEFA Champions League next season. What do you think is best for Erik Ten Hag? Do you think he should just leave honorably the Manchester United squad, or do you think his faith in the Manchester United squad is still intact, though Manchester United have struggled so much in this season in the Premier League, and we don't know what the future holds for Erik Ten Hag next year and next season in the world of football? And this is the length at which we will be going on this week's episode of Sport Vibe on DNT Work. For more news and sports stories, follow us across our various social media handles at Sport Vibe on DNT Work. Enjoy your week. Remain blessed. Stay safe. Thank you.